Shear, it was like, you know, there we were, somewhere on exit 14 or 17 in New Jersey. In a place that was called Hitsville, but we were calling it Shitsville. Because backstage was scary. No, it was kind of trashy. They had graffiti on the wall. One thing really struck me and hit me hard, because you work years and years just to get your work on vinyl or out there, so, you know, you don't just die trying, you know. And there you are, how many demonstration recordings you do before you feel like you're gonna just lose your mind. And rejections, you gotta get used to it. You don't know how many people said, you know, she sucks, but the band is great, you know. I don't let that stuff really bother me, because the first time, you know, you shouted, and then after a while, you know, like, hey, what the heck? You get along like Gene Simmons with the horns. I don't know. Anyway, did I say that? Don't tell me. Anyway, so what was I saying before I got lost? Yeah, I'm back again. Right. I'm sitting in the dressing room, and one of the graffiti, you know, sayings on the wall really hit me, and that was, "Are we not signed? We are demo. D-E-M-O." Oh right, you've never heard of Devo. I'm sorry. Or some of you just, I don't know. Okay, so when I saw that, I thought, oh my God, it's true. Because every once in a while you read graffiti and you say, yeah, that's so true. So, easy, steady, I'm not done begging. Go for a walk, come back, you'll feel better. So I would never let a boyfriend come to a gig, right? Because you know, well, you ladies know, right? You know, sometimes you want to keep your work away from, you know, maybe a prospective guy, right? Yeah. You know, no guy really wants to, they say they do, and then when they see you on a chair or something standing, you know, rebel rousing, that's not their thing. My first boyfriend who saw that all of a sudden became the maitre d'. I don't know what came over him, but he felt, you know, he had to sit everybody. I have no idea. I was trying to get him up, he was sitting him down. I don't know. But this one time, we were in Shitsville, and I was there, I spray painted my hair blue, I was depressed. This was just before we, you know, I met Lenny Pizzi, and then I met Rick Cherloff, right? And you know, Dave Wolf saw me, this was my boyfriend, right? I wasn't sure if he was gonna hang around after he saw me sing. And then he said, you know, he came over, he helped me home, you know, which a lot of guys do, but I lived in a 5-floor walk-up. So, you know, and I carry a lot of shit with me. I have a bag with a stainless steel pot and a hot light so I can, and fix so I can breathe in the steam, you know, from my voice, and then I have like the facial creams, God knows you have to have those, and a lot of makeup, and then the hair stuff, and then the clothing. Anyway, I'd be dragging that up 5 flights of stairs, and usually if you're with a guy helping you, like, they get to the 3rd flight, and they're like, okay then, I'll see you, I'll call you tomorrow. I gotta go. You know, but Dave Wolf, he made it all the way up to the 5th floor. You know, and so I'm opening, I'm going, wow, and I'm opening up the door and he's going, how do I love thee? Let me count the steps. So I thought, he might be a keeper. Anyway, so, you know, he was, and we you know, we started working together, and I'm telling you this story so you really get a picture. I lived in a studio apartment, you know, 1 room, and my friend Carl Eagleston, who lived downstairs, decided that, he came up and he said, Zen, you're not a white walls person, so we painted it. I did, you know, gray and yellow too. I don't know, went wild in that kitchen. What kitchen? It was like a closet with a door, but it was gray and yellow. And anyway, so he decided that I should have a loft bed. So he built me a loft bed, right? What a sweet guy. So he built us a loft bed, and honestly, that's another flight. So the guy's got to be really interested in you know, get to the other flight. And we were making the album, She's So Unusual. You know, I've been working with Dave Wolf, right? And I got a clock for my birthday, and it was really cute. It was a little Betty Boop clock. I had a lot you know, I put on my bed. And then one night, Dave Wolf climbed up and knocked it over. And of course, like any good tenant, the floor's tilted. So it hit the floor, rolled on the floor, into the wall, and smashed. So that was the end of that. So I said, oh man, I really like the clock. He said, don't worry. He goes to his mother's house the next day, and he brings back a clock, an old one. First, you should worry, he got it from his mother's house. I don't know, that's just not a good idea, but should, you know, let you know. But, so he brings the clock back. It's not exactly funky, you know, like, you know, car wash or anything. It's just a white clock, right? And this thing was so loud, that I would put it in the bathroom, because it was one room. I put it in the bathroom, and then I put it behind the shower curtain, hoping it would eat up some of the sound, and then close the door and then climb up to the 6th floor, which was the fourth deck, and try and sleep. And you know that line in Time After Time where it says, lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you? Okay? It's true. The scary thing about everything I'm telling you is I'm not making this up. But now when you listen to it, you're going to have a little something that other people aren't going to have. And one more thing about Time After Time, and Rick can attest to this. Rick, I'm going to do my best impersonation of you, which probably isn't so good, but he was sitting at the control board. Oh. Yeah, for those of you who don't do this, when you make a record, there's a big board. You must have seen it on one of Puff Daddy's reality shows. They have a big board, and you listen to speakers, and you mix all the different tracks. Like you'll have the snare drum and the drums. Not a lot of people have patience for drums, but Rick Chertoff was a drummer, so he loved drums. And anyway, so everything's separated and you mix it all the levels. Anyway, he's sitting at the mixing board and he's going, you're not gonna believe this, but my watch is going backwards. No, not kidding. My watch is going backwards. Look, second hand is unwinding. And I'm thinking, that's a good line. And taken from reality. So when you hear the second hand unwinds, it really happens. Now, what are you testing the potency? I don't know, maybe I hit something there. Well, this is going crazy. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to let you know is what we were doing when we did She-Bop. You know, you gotta understand that this record one, easy. Zip it, Zippy. Don't make me come out there. You won't like it. Anyway, so we were at the record plant. It's a very famous place. I mean, there's like a lot of famous people there. There was Bruce Springsteen was making his record when we were, oh, shut the fuck up. Bruce Springsteen was making his record while we were making ours, right?
Kick his ass!
Oh, I just put home there. Alright, so I'm not going to stop telling you this story because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give you a little piece of something that you wouldn't get. I figure it's very rude to just play there and anyway, so, and I'm Sicilian, so the more you give me shit, the more I'm going to fucking so we're in this studio, it's a record plant, and he was working there. I mean, he even was an idiot. I went up to him and I called him Bruce Springsteen. I said, oh, Bruce Springsteen. I know, it's real stupid. You know, because in my heart it was sort of like, Rosalita, Rosalita. It was an early song for those of you who are born. Anyway, so he was there. And he was very nice, of course. Then I told him I really love Darkness at the Edge of Town. It wasn't really well received. It's actually a great album. I should check it out. Anyway, so, you know, there was all kinds of people there. And John Lennon And Yoko Ono made the Double Fantasy album there, right? So, listen, it was a big deal for me because, you know, when I was little, I was John Lennon. I wanted to be Paul McCartney, but my sister was Paul, and you can't have two Pauls in the same house. So I was stuck being John, but then I liked it, you know. Anyway, so it was a big deal. And, you know, there were all these stories about when they did, like, what was it, walking on, no, I get confused now. Now it was the...
Thin Ice.
Thin Ice, that's it. She was doing Thin Ice, and they said that they put up, like, they covered up the window in the studio so you couldn't see in. They put a mattress on the floor, you know, and then just, whoa! You know. So I thought, oh my God, I want to do something special, right? So I had them run a wire because I found a little warehouse spot. So I had them run a wire there in this long room. And it was actually Kiss's rehearsal space and storage space, you know, that they rented there. And it was fantastic because it was like a beat up rehearsal place where people would always yell at you for being too loud and threaten your life, you know. So I felt right at home. Except that, you know, I felt like now I'm going to sing She Bop, I want to do something fun, but I don't want, nobody will see me. And now I'm looking at the floor going, I'm not putting a mattress on that floor because that's skanky. But I stood there, and while I was singing, I took my shirt off to feel free. Yeah, because you know, as a woman, you know, 5 years old, after that, hey, you better keep your shirt off. You know, it's not like that. For little boys, they have their shirt off. You know, so it was very free, right? And I took my shirt off and I tickled myself, you know, while I was singing, you know, like this, like really silly, tickling myself, and that's why I was laughing. So that's why there's laughter on Shear, because I'm standing there without my shirt tickling my ribs, laughing because nobody else knows. Because now they know. Popular, all of a sudden, everybody was laughing on their albums. So I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are they doing? Anyway, so now you know what's on that